I'm Andrew, and I'm setting out to make better videos for diesel enthusiasts. Follow along as I review products, do how-tos, and share my personal trucks here on Just Diesels.
What's up guys, welcome back, and today this is gonna be something pretty exciting. This is something I've been looking forward to for a very long time. You might notice behind me that there is a truck you have not seen on this channel before, and that's because I just picked up a new first gen. I've been on the hunt for a very long time for a four-wheel drive, single rear wheel truck, and I finally found this W250. Super clean truck. You know, obviously needs a little bit of work, but that's the whole fun of this. And it's like a true survivor truck. So everything in this truck's pretty original from front to back. So I'm gonna show you guys around this truck, kind of show you the story of this truck. We'll take it for a drive. And yeah, I'll kind of introduce you to Project Grandpa Truck, which is what we're gonna be calling this thing. The previous owner worked at a pick and pull yard, and one day this old man comes into the pick and pull yard with this truck, and he pulls up and he asks if they buy junk vehicles, and they all go, yeah, it's 300 bucks for a junk vehicle. And he goes, all right, cool. And they ask him, what are you bringing in? And he goes, this, and he pulls up in this truck. So turns out this poor guy, the front right brake caliper kept sticking on the truck, and some local shop kept just pad slapping the truck. And so he basically expressed that he was just tired of replacing pads on this truck. He was being had by this poor local mechanic shop. So they made a deal. Drew, the owner that I bought the truck from, purchased the truck from this gold man. And yeah, Drew's had that truck. He bought it in San Diego, took it up with him to Montana, and he's had this truck for quite a few years. Just recently decided he wanted to get into something newer, a newer vehicle, do some nice suspension stuff on it. And so he needed the funds from this truck for that. So we made a deal. Now, how this kind of connects in a really cool way is if you guys remember me purchasing my third gen from a guy from Montana, the guy was named Ian. Drew is Ian's really good friend. So Ian, who I purchased my third gen from, reached out to me and said, hey, my buddy Drew's looking to sell this first gen. And we made a deal. So this was a killer price on a really, really killer truck. So this truck you see behind me is a 1992 W250. Now, W250 means it is a four-wheel drive truck, single rear wheel, and it is a really, really clean truck. Now this is the A518 automatic transmission, sadly, but I'll let that slide because the rest of this truck is so cool. Now taking a look at the outside of this thing, it's a little bit rough, it's a little sunburned, but the bones are there. There's absolutely no rust on this truck anywhere, even on the top drip rail around the cab. Everything on this truck is super clean and pristine. This was basically a Southwestern truck until it went to Montana. It wasn't driven in the winter, so it really hasn't had any salt exposure. So the paint on this truck, obviously got some clear cut failures, some good sunburn, but in terms of like the actual, you know, body condition of this truck, it's all in really good shape. There's a couple of small dents, but really all in all, this thing's got awesome bones. It's pretty rare to find first gens in this good a shape, honestly. And so I was really stoked to find this truck. It even has the original grille on it, albeit it's got the typical first gen crack, but the grille's in really good shape. Pop the hood and you'll see a completely and totally bone stock 12 valve Cummins engine. And that is what I love to see. The wiring on this truck is completely original. airbox is original, exhaust is original. It even has the tamper caps present on the VE injection pump. So you know this truck has never been turned up, and driving it is just as slow as a truck that has never been turned up. So also kind of cool to see. The thing only has 164,000 original miles, and that's pretty cool in a first gen. Pop the door to the interior. This is where things are a little more worn out. Really, honestly, all in all, not too bad for a first gen, but it's gonna need a new headliner. The seat is going to need definitely a deep cleaning. I'm gonna try and deep clean it and see if I can get away with that before actually reupholstering it. The carpet is obviously completely blown out, missing the pedal pad, missing a couple other things. It's got some sunburn here and there on the plastics and stuff. And in typical fashion, most of the interior trim pieces are broken. But yeah, the interior all in all is actually in really good shape. The back of this truck has the typical Grandpa snug top shell on it. I probably won't be sticking with the snug top. I actually have another one from my other first gen anyway, but this is a pretty cool original time capsule snug top. Inside the bed is actually super clean. You notice I got a bunch of extra parts in here that the owner gave me. So he gave me a carpet kit, a couple other little small odds and ends, some trim pieces and stuff like that. But the bed of this truck is actually super clean too. It doesn't have a gooseneck hitch, doesn't have a fifth wheel, hasn't been worked super hard. You know, the bed's not all warped. I really gotta say, like, combing this truck over, this thing is in super good shape. Now, underneath the truck, you'll notice that there is a lot of light surface rust on the frame, very typical, but there's no cancerous rust. You know, there's obviously nothing that's busting through any of the frames. Even the spring hangers are in really good shape. So very typical rust, I would say, of a 92 first gen. I'll probably be doing a video cleaning the whole underside of this truck up. We're gonna be coating it, all that stuff, so it looks really nice and fresh, but all in all, this thing's pretty solid. So now that I've given you guys a bit of a walk around, let's go take this thing for a drive. Honestly, the doors, for an old first gen, pretty dang impressive. Most of the time they do not open and close that easy. So I am stoked on that. Still even has the annoying buzzer. There's just something about these old trucks that's so cool. So the previous owner actually put a straight pipe just on the factory exhaust on this thing. So here it's got a little more grumble than stock, but still factory size piping. I'll probably update that with something a little nicer, but for now, definitely gives it a good note. And yeah, this thing actually drives half decent for one of these trucks. You know, steering's not completely all over the place. Transmission actually moves it forward, which is nice. AC even works in this thing, which is kind of cool. It still has the original stereo, which is awesome. It's just got that perfect old first gen sound. Awesome nostalgia, rides like an absolute wagon. You gotta love these things. If you guys have been around my YouTube channel for a while, you know that I usually buy pretty clean trucks. So this is, interestingly enough, definitely the biggest project I've ever taken on. But what I love about this truck is it has good bones. Like, everything about this truck, all the important stuff is in really good shape. Driveline's in really good shape. The body's actually in really good shape, aside from needing some paint. You know, it's got some little things that need to get taken care of, but nothing that's too bad. And so it's just like one of those perfect project trucks where you can get it pretty dang cheap for what it is, fixed up stuff up, and you end up with a really, really nice truck in the end. So I'm pretty stoked on this thing. As you can see, the good thing drives absolutely fantastic for what it is. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to use this as a platform to actually do some cool videos on first gen stuff. I feel like my personal first gen is just, there's nothing it really needs. And this truck will make a much better project video for the channel. So I'm excited to take you guys along for the ride as I kind of go through this thing. All right, well, there you have it. That is Project Grandpa Truck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed meeting this new truck. And yeah, I'm excited to dig into this thing. So first things first, gonna be cleaning up the interior so I can actually stand sitting in it. Probably do a new carpet kit from First Gen Industries, a couple other small odds and ends that I can find for now. I will be figuring out the suspension situation on this truck. The lean is driving me crazy. Right now it's super front high, so maybe I'll just temporarily add a block in the rear, but long term I got some bigger suspension plans for this truck. You know, address some stuff like that. Steering, obviously this truck, the steering wheel is super crooked. That's a super easy adjustment. But from there, I'll probably be doing some steering upgrades and changes just to keep this thing a little bit tighter. And then yeah, body work. I'd love to repaint this truck, get it looking nice. So hopefully you guys can enjoy following along as I tear through this truck and make it something really cool. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you on the next video.